Hi, my name is Riley Carson, and this is my speech on funding for the arts programs in public schools. Imagine, you're frozen in your final pose after putting on the performance of a lifetime, while hundreds of people cheer and applaud, giving you the warming feeling of being a performer. Being a high school student, you can easily get ignored walking through the crowded hallways. For theater kids, sometimes the only way for them to shine is on the stage. But how is that possible if the school can't even afford to turn on the stage lights? The issue doesn't just affect thespians in school. Funds can also cause problems in band, music, and art classes. Kids are being held back from artistic experiences in school due to the lack of funding and the lack of respect most school districts have for arts programs. Studies have shown that students in arts programs were more proficient in classes like English by 14%. So why aren't these programs pushed more? Public school art programs struggle to find enough funds for their programs to survive. It's easy for school districts to overlook the arts programs because these classes are unpopulated. When looking at budget cuts, schools typically stray away from sports because they're a very popular program and they can bring in money for the school. Especially if the school has a very good team, investors can only support the school's team, leaving the arts out, which makes the arts classes the first to get cut. Ironically, if they spend just as much money on the arts, they could bring in more money than sports events do. An article published in May 2016 says that the No Child Left Behind Act caused schools to focus on grades and test scores, which pushed the funds to keep those numbers high, which ended up making the funds for non-academic classes shrink every year. The article also states that due to budget cuts, only 3% of schools allocated funds for dance, and only 4% offered theater opportunities. Having programs that only receive 3 to 4% of the funds gives the school a reason not to have these programs anymore. Sadly, that kind of thinking is the main reason behind the schools cutting these programs. In 2020, President Trump is trying to release a budget proposal to cut some funding from the Education Department. Congress plans to disregard this proposal because the school's funding is more of a state and local issue rather than national. But with these cuts, the president's proposal, it would cause a chain reaction, making some schools in poorer counties cut lower funding programs. Now, this doesn't make the president the reason behind the lack of funding. His plan was to make many good things happen. It just didn't have the arts in the picture. Budget cuts isn't the Board of Education getting bored and cutting programs for fun. It's a chain reaction which sadly affects the school's arts programs. Fortunately, there are some simple ways to get the school district's attention in order to get funds. The solution is simply raising awareness of the importance of the arts' impacts on students. Every year, there is an award show for theater kids that showcases high schoolers' best performers. The creator and host of the show is Schuler Hensley, a famous singer and actor that has made his debut on Broadway. This show is a really big deal for theater programs across Georgia. It's a televised award ceremony that can get high schoolers recognized for their hard work, and they can get awards that show the school districts just how important these programs are to students. Now, the ceremony doesn't just give out awards, they also give back to the hardworking students by giving out scholarships for college. Thankfully, many other programs have popped up to help the Schuler Awards with their mission to celebrate the arts, like the International Thespian Society or the National Association for Music Education. Another way to help spread awareness to districts who have cut or are trying to cut programs is to talk to the head of districts themselves. Schools cannot turn down students if they report an issue. If a student has a majority student body votes, the state cannot turn it down. This kind of action is what schools are supposed to teach students, to push what they believe in and to make a change. Americans for the Arts is a program that shares this message of the benefits of arts for the country. Many of these programs would love to partner with aspiring students wanting to make a change for their schools by adding arts programs. The solution to many issues is simple. It's having the passion to change things. Funds can be changed, but only if there's a voice to change them. We can visualize the benefits for arts by scholastic scores and behavior tendencies. A study made in 2006 by Solomon R. Guggenheim Museum showed that students gained more improvised abilities to reason, hypothesize, and describe text after exercises in which they discussed the meaning of paintings. This study was made on third graders. If young students can look at paintings and are able to understand the culture, that's remarkable. The acts are also a great way to help students focus in class. At early ages, mothers are told to play classical music because it'll help the fetus's brain work. The same theory goes with high schoolers. As you see on the daily, many students in our own school use music as a tool to help them focus on their work. While doing their schoolwork, their brain has a tune that helps them work even harder to solve the problems. The arts are very beneficial for students' behavior and people skills. It's a well-known fact that students who study music and theater are very good at presenting themselves. As an actor, one must be confident and learn how to project their voice so they can be heard from any corner of a room. This can set these students apart from those who play sports. Many jobs look for art experiences in those potential workers because they teach usable soft skills that can be used in any position. The arts are very good at helping with behavioral skills in students. When participating in programs, students are challenged to step out of their comfort zone in teamwork, which can help them in many ways with their social skills. The arts are a very important program to have in public schools, not because of their effect of expressing to children, but their way of teaching them skills they couldn't have learned anywhere else. In football, you're taught to be a team player, but in music, band, and theater, you're taught to not only be a team player, but you. In closing, I urge districts across America to start pushing the importance of arts programs. Taking arts classes can be vital experiences to help students grow in many areas. Go to a local school and show your support. Our country was made of artistic ideas, and the arts are all around us. The music you listen to, the TV shows you watch, the buildings you admire are all a part of the art culture. So why cut these programs? By cutting them, you're depriving our future generations of the beauty of America's arts. Seeing what students can do can open your eyes to understand why the funding of arts programs is a very critical issue. Thank you.